What's up, everybody? David Belleville here alongside Joe Barker with the AmeriLife Marketing Mentors, and we just wanted to break down and discuss some of the biggest topics shaping the marketing landscape. And Joe, ChatGPT is making some waves.
Yeah, so we knew it was coming. Like we've known for a long time. They're bringing ads. Why wouldn't they?
Right.
It's this one, and we may only be able to talk about this one because there's so much to talk about around it. But this one's big. I mean, if you think about it, they're going to be selling ads. Where they're giving recommendations and where people are building that trust with AI, and they're really starting to utilize it more and more. And now you're going to have ads attached to it.
Yep.
It's a huge shift.
It really is.
And then if you think about it, so I think about it from different perspectives. Think about it from ChatGPT or whatever platform's perspective that's rolling out these ads. You're not only now getting the $20 or $200, whatever it is, of whatever platform from consumers. Now you're tacking on those ad dollars right on top of it. For everybody who's not paying, now they're going to get ads. They are going to absolutely kill it.
I think so too.
And everything that it's going to be big for them. But I think it's going to be really interesting as we're watching it. I posted on LinkedIn this past week about, how do you balance advertising and the trust factor? So, and it's
That's
almost like
biggest question right now.
Yeah, so it's almost like as advertisers and as brands, if we're gonna pay to put our brand out there and attach it to topics, how do you do it in a way to where it doesn't feel salesy?
Yeah,
because it's conversational.
Sure, and users have grown to accept these platforms as objective, unbiased, neutral, and anytime advertisements enter the arena, there's a level of skepticism from the consumer's point of view. So a question that I have too is, what does this do for the trust factor when it comes to both these LLM platforms and the brand's advertising on these platforms? Does it skew results? Does it skew what ChatGPT or any other platforms that might experiment with this deliver? It remains to be seen, and it'll be super interesting how it shapes some consumer behavior.
Yeah, no, I think that's completely right. It is going to be really interesting. And I interact with AI tools all the time, and I'm constantly having conversations. But that's the biggest difference is when I'm on Google and I'm searching something, I'm used to getting those ads because I'm looking for something in particular. When I'm utilizing any of the AI tools, I truly am having prompting back and forth and having conversations back and forth.
Yeah.
And the behavior is so much different. So now to have it, I picture it, what is it going to say? Like, hey, well, hold on 5 seconds while I load that. And by the way, here's a Doritos commercial. Like,
yes.
That's what you try to figure out. Like, is that really going to happen? It's just interesting, but I agree. The trust factor is going to come into play huge here. And I think it's going to fall on both parts. It's going to fall on the platform's part to make sure that the ads they're delivering, that it makes sense. And then the second way, it's going to fall on us as the advertisers. So how can we do it in a way to where we get engagement, to where people don't just ignore it, knowing, okay, well, here's another ad.
Have you ever used the app Waze?
Yes.
The way Waze advertises is exceptional, in my opinion. You can be stopped at a red light. It seems to know when you are stopped. And if you look at your GPS as stopped at a red light, it's going to serve you an ad that is probably something around you. At least that's the experience I've had. I bring that up because you discussed how these things are going to be presented within ChatGPT. To my knowledge, they're going to be, at least at first, just displayed at the bottom of the conversation. Correct. But you're right. This is just the beginning. This is going to evolve. And if money's being made, other platforms are going to adopt this too. So it will be interesting to see how these ads are displayed. Another thing that pops into my mind is paid streaming platforms versus unpaid or a lower tier of a streaming platform. You're getting your favorite shows and movies interrupted by ads. Is that going to be a similar experience?
Well, and I think that's kind of what they're doing now with that free, right now those ads, the ads that they're planning for ChatGPT are only hitting the free versions. So, like I have a paid account, so I'm not going to get to see them as fast as everybody else. And I think that's what you see. So like Amazon Prime, I'm a member of Amazon Prime because I love watching their movies or their shows. As soon as they hit me with an ad though, I was like, nope, $2.99 a month. I'm not watching ads.
Same way.
Exactly. So I think you're going to see that same thing, but I think that's also where these AI platforms are going to set themselves so much further ahead financially than somebody like Google's done for so many years, is because Google never charged the consumers. So there was never that charge there. So it was never like, hey, well, you can have the Google experience and get no ads, but you have to pay.
Oh my gosh, could you imagine?
But that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
So right now, I don't have to deal with the ads because I paid. Now, will that change in the future? Maybe. But that's what's going to be interesting is it's almost like the exact opposite of what Google was. So Google was free to consumers, and then they eventually did ads. ChatGPT is, hey, no, if you want this, you're paying for it. If you want so much of it, you're paying for it. And by the way, now we're going to give you ads too. And we're going to go after the advertisers also. It's pretty, it's going to be pretty interesting to see. So the other question I have now that I'm thinking about it is we saw that big shift coming in advertising where they said the retail media networks and the financial media networks, they were going to take so much of ad spend. So that started about 4 years ago, where everybody said, start watching out for those retail and media networks and financial. How does that change now? How does that affect the forecast now that AI is now in play? So now when people are looking at their advertising spend, you're looking at social media, you're looking at traditional channels for your advertising spend. You have the retail media networks and the financial media networks. Well, now you've got the AI networks. And so it's not like we're getting an extra bucket of money to be able to go do the advertising. Everybody still has to split it. So it's going to be interesting, the forecast that's going to come out across all the different various areas of advertising, from streaming TV to your, mobile advertising all the way through. But now throw AI in that mix, and then we got to see what those results are. Because if they deliver results, they're going to get more of the budget.
And to your point, as of right now, there isn't any concrete evidence that there's a ROI that is worth investing into this new advertising medium. However, we do know how popular these LLM platforms are and how integral they're becoming both in people's personal lives and business lives. So even though we don't have that data yet, it's still worth experimenting with. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I can't wait to get on that.
Right.
Now, not that we're going to be allowed to, but if we can, absolutely. I want to test on there, and I want to see. It's kind of like, it's like anything else. When Reddit and Google came through with their big agreement, that was one of the first things we did. We hopped on Reddit and we started testing out Reddit platforms. When Nextdoor hit really big and everybody was on the Nextdoor app about their community apps, we hit that platform and we wanted to see what those results would be. AI is going to be no different. The biggest difference, I think, compared to those others is exactly what you said, the consumer behavior shift of how much time they're spending there.
Yeah.
And they're relying on it now more than ever. So, the 50-plus generation may not quite be there yet of spending as much time as the younger generations, but that shift every single month that passes just keeps going in that direction. And so it is going to be really, really interesting. And as soon as I can get over there and run some ads, I'm going to, for sure.
Well, I'll be waiting. I'll be watching. We can dive into those analytics together and figure out what works, what doesn't, and we can meet back here and break it all down. I am really excited, though, to see how this evolves. In my opinion, this is the beginning of a transformation when it comes to how businesses can reach consumers. And like I said, it's just the beginning.
Absolutely. And I know there's a ton more other stories we were supposed to hit, but virtually today we're just going to be able to cover that one. But I definitely think next time, there's a lot of things happening with TikTok. There's a lot of things happening out there. So very soon you and I are going to have to come back in here and talk about all these other news stories that are going on, because there's a lot happening right now.
That sounds like a plan. We hope that you'll be here to join us. For Joe Barker, I'm David Belleville, and this is the AmeriLife Marketing Mentors. We'll see you next time.
Thanks.